Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and a very warm welcome, literally warm welcome, to the epic circuit in Bahrain. This is the main tier 2 from Apex Online Racing. You're watching me, Frostbreath, your commentator for tonight. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a first race of a series of about 17 races. And we can look forward to a huge title fight this time round. We have Johan, the tier 3 champion, joining us in tier 2. And therefore, we'll have a very talented driver there. There's many more talented drivers there, of course. And we will see who will come out on top after this first race. Bahrain literally being hot, and the third smallest nation in Asia after the Maldives and Singapore. So yeah, a pretty small place to be, and it has a famous track there. Probably a lot of people don't know me. My name's Frostbreath, and I am a commentator officially now for Apex Online Racing. I also commentate in another league, and I've been referred to this place to try and use my commenting skills, so I hope I'm up to par. If you can hear me properly, please do let me know in the chat, as I can watch the chat and view everything live and talk with you. So then, let us go to the game itself. The moment has come, the short qualifying has started. Obviously it's dry, it's the middle of August basically. Temperatures here go as high as 38 degrees Celsius during daytime, hence why we race at night, where the temperatures reach a very mild and easy 30 degrees Celsius. Still pretty warm, but you know, a lot better than being in the burning sun at 38 degrees Celsius. Anyway, a few cars going out into the track, and the season has officially started. So let's see here who's going out on track. I can see Bibex, the first car out in his Alpha Tauri. It appears we have a pretty good lineup. I have to be honest, I do not know any of these people, but I've been given a lot of information about everybody here. For example, that a few people in here are pretty good title contenders in the name of Taisu, Zane, Gaffa, and Bibex, the person we're watching right now. Speaking of watching people, let's turn on a few details here. For example, the tires they're driving on, the telemetry, lap data, and of course the track map. Always useful to have around. So yeah, please do let me know if you can hear me or not. If I get no response to the chat, then I might have to worry that nobody's hearing me. So let's hope that's not the case. Already quite a few people out on track, including the tier 2 champion Johan from France. And Taisu on the medium tires. Surprisingly, he's gonna give it a try and give it a go. Let's go back to Bibex, who is going to be the first to cross the line to start his hot lap. And let's see what kind of times these guys can set. As you all know, these tiers are without any assists, so they're gonna have to do that all on their own. No racing line, no traction control whatsoever. Personally, I die in the first corner. Thank you, Persigili, for confirming that you can hear me well. That's excellent. Excellent news. Aston Martin of Matrix Slunge moving out of the way. I might be butchering the pronunciation of a few names, so I do apologize in advance if I do not pronounce any of the names correctly. Obviously, first purple sector there for Bibex, as he's the first trying to set a time here. Daigoro following somewhere behind. Let's see here. There he is. Also a first purple sector, so currently he's just that much faster than BBix. While Matrix has to move out of the way again, he's having a very slow outlap indeed. Johan just crossed the line to start his hot lap here. Car number 37, the Ferrari. Speaking of the Ferrari, they might be the team to beat this year. Daigoro and Johan, both from France. Apparently very fast, very quick there. And they might be contenders for the Constructors title. However, I've been told that Vega and Skykartoffel, I would love to pronounce it in German, as I'm Dutch, I like to pronounce it in German. But it might sound really weird. Anyway, both of them might be the guys to challenge Ferrari, while BBix sets a lap time of 25.7, followed by Daigoro and a 26.2. And there, Matrix now starting his lap. I've seen a few people cheering on some of the drivers here, including Tom, who's a fan of Gaffa, and the other Tom, who's a fan of me. I can tell you I'm not driving tonight. I'm just commentating, so yeah, like I said, I hope I'm doing well. Feedback is appreciated, as this is the first time I'm commentating for a fairly big F1 racing league. There is VAM, now setting the fastest lap on a 25.6, as Johan is crossing the line, only P5 at the moment. Of course, it's only the banker lap, so many people will take it safe, as the Gaffa now crosses the line, P4 in a 26.100 exactly. I personally do like round numbers like those. Let's see here, as Vega is going to cross the line soon. Skykartoffel is now going to cross the line in a 1 minute. No, never mind, he's gonna have to restart that. Sorry about that. Let's see about this person here. Vega now setting a time 26.6. And interestingly, Guillemot, I really hope I'm pronouncing that name well. Guillemot in a 32.8, so he must have made a fairly big mistake there, now trying again for a faster lap than that, obviously. Currently 1/10 faster than his previous first sector, so his mistake must have been made either in the second or the third sector. As we all know, the Bahrain track features plenty of places where you can almost literally die in the curbs just after the first sector and this lovely corner here, and then of course there is the famous corner to the right coming up very soon. Guillemot is heading there right now into the left-hander, and then turning right here. This place you definitely don't want to touch the curbs because you will be gone. Purple second sector there for Guillemot, although the game often says the second sector is purple for literally anybody, even for me, while I'm one of the slower people in F1 League racing. So he's coming around again, currently 2/10 up on his time. So let's see what he will do in this final sector. Crossing the line, and he is fastest indeed, just by a very tiny margin of just 3/100ths of a second at 25.656. A very quick lap indeed, but his tires will be 1 lap older now, if that will be the set that he will use at the start of this race. Taisu in the meanwhile in the medium tires, currently sitting P11, while he is tussling there with another Williams of Revitalize, who's got his lap invalidated, but it doesn't matter it seems, because he's heading into the pit lane anyway. As is Taisu, who will probably rethink his strategy of, you know, the medium tire. It's always a gamble, especially if everybody else is... Oh dear, that's nearly a crash. A Honda decided to come out pretty dangerously there onto the track. Potato is now heading out. He nearly crashed into Taisu. Glad we caught that live on camera. Aren't we all in for a bit of drama? The Ferraris out, right behind one another. They might try and do the strategy of the toe. Although I'm still not entirely sure whether that works well on this game, as this game tends to have a different idea on the slipstream and toes as real life does. But then again, this game has many different ideas. than real life does have about the sports in general. Matrix on a hot lap, but it seems he's already nearly a second slower than he was previously, so it looks like he's saving energy there and gonna try again. Let's see here, one of the contenders for pole position turns out is BBX, currently on a hot lap. He is about 1/10 behind pole position at the moment, so let's see. What is his time in the first sector? Ooh, it's just marginally slower, about a 10th slower than his previous attempt. So he's going to have to push a little bit harder there in the second and third sector, especially in the second sector, as I believe you can lose the most time around this corner, mostly. Car number 29. Pierce's engine is making funny sounds. He's got slow down. I think he's going to try again. Either that or his engine's gone nuts. I think that's just a sound glitch. We're all familiar with that beautiful sound glitch. The AM getting past 3 100s away from pole position at the moment in the Alpine car. His teammate Taisu now has put under a set of soft tires in P11 at the moment, 26.8. A time driven on the medium tires. Speaking of medium tires, we also have Skykartoffel still sitting in the pit lane on the medium tires as we speak. And the AM then. Let's actually join him inside of his car. Well, more like on top of his car, and see what he can do to improve his previous level. A little bit of a lock-up on the front right over there. It's so far looking good. We haven't seen his previous lap, of course, so we do not know what mistakes he made there. Although a 25.6 at that time is a time with unlikely mistakes to have happened. Ooh, already 1/10 up, so currently well on the way for pole position. A purple first sector, obviously. As Dyke, oh, he nearly loses it. That was incredibly close. He nearly lost it. I think that's his lap over then. Is he going to try still? I believe he's still trying to get a go. As Daigoro, I wanted to say, is going fastest overall now with a 25.5. And I doubt that the AM will be able to match that lap right now, as he nearly lost it there. Ooh, he's still up on his time. And currently that is not enough for pole position. That would be a P3 for the time being. The Gaffa currently sitting in P2 at the 25.568, just 4 100s behind Daigoro. Round the final corner he comes. The AM in the Alpine car. It will be a 25.572. 5 100s behind pole position, including quite the big moment in the second sector. So I can only say that is quite impressive. Looking very interesting indeed. I've been told that this grid is pretty competitive, and I can only fully agree with that so far. 6 minutes 40 seconds remaining in the session. People are really going to have to set some quick times there now, as Gilmov has a bit of a lock-up there on his front right into the sharp corner of turn 8, I believe, from the top of my head. Let's see how fast he can go. Currently sitting P4. New set of soft tires. The left-hander upwards to the right-hander, and let's see how much more faster. He's actually slower than his previous time. 8 100ths of a second. It's not much, but it's hard to make up that much time in the final sector, as the final sector consists mostly of 2 corners and 2 very long straights. There he comes across the line. Will he have improved his time? And he hasn't improved his time. Now sitting at P5 as Strusiek has improved to P4 at a 25.6. Just have a little look at the, now let's say, top 7. Everything within 2/10 of one another, which is very impressive indeed. Gonna love the sound glitch today. A lot of cars are having this interesting engine sound glitch. And we have a retirement of Potato, who retired in the pit lane. Not entirely sure what happened there. Might have had some issues there, one way or another. But he is out of the session in P12 currently, as Vega is returning to the pit lane. Meanwhile, Matrix has an invalidated lap, so he's going to have to try again. And is he going to try again? No, he's heading straight for the pit lane there as well. As is Sky Kartoffel, who still hasn't set a lap time, so the pressure is slowly building for him. Still sitting in P14 at the moment. An invalidated lap here for Revitalize, as he's letting past his teammate. Gilmov, I'm pretty sure he's coming in right now, unless he's actually going for a second lap here. He is, surprisingly, trying to improve this time, and he did! Wow, look at the improvement there! A 25.2! More than 3/10 faster than Daigoro. Now, the rest now has a pretty huge target set in order to grab the pole position there, because that is huge. Once upon a time, a 25.7 would have been fastest for pole position, but that was at the beginning of the session. Now, times have improved by more than half a second. And as such, Bibix is gonna have to see if he can do that or not. For some reason, I was shown a Williams while I was concentrating on Bibix there. There he comes on his hot lap at the moment. Can he improve? He has to, because P8 with the soft tire isn't exactly a fantastic position to be in. Preferably, you'd rather be in P11 or in P7 or higher, in terms of tire strategy. For my experience, at least. Purple second sector, 1/10 faster than his previous time. But don't believe the purple there is correct, unless the sector itself is fastest, of course. Oh, the Williams just moving out of the way, just barely in time. That was as late as he could have moved out of the way. Not entirely sure how happy Bibix will be with that one. Has he improved? He certainly has. A 25.3. Just under a 10th from pole position, and with 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, he will no longer be able to put on another lap. Unless, of course, he decides to recharge his systems here. He decides to cut the first corner there to save himself some time. Not entirely sure if that is allowed or not. But I guess it's fine. I'm not the one to judge that. Let's see here. Daigoro. There's a Williams going incredibly wide in the meantime in the background. Daigoro getting himself ready for his final hot lap. Followed behind by quite a few other cars, including Revitalize in the Williams, VAM in the Alpine, Sky Kartoffel, who still hasn't set a lap time. Is he still on the medium tires, actually? He is, surprisingly. Vega's actually in the third sector right now, over there on the outlap. Loads of people on the outlap at the moment. Bibix, I believe, the only one who's finished so far. Daigoro going for his hot lap. While Williams is coming out, he's gonna have to hurry up quite a bit there, and he might be in the way of several people there. He's got 1 minute 24, so he's gonna have to do a really quick outlap there in order to get himself a qualifying lap going. As Daigoro now enters the second sector momentarily. After turn 4, 5 and 6, in he comes. 1/10 up on his time already. So pole position is currently looking not very likely at all. Let's see here how Strusiek is going to do here. He's slightly slower at the moment. Guillemot is going to have to drive very fast in order to make the to make the finish line before the flag comes out. Daigoro then heading for the line between the second and third sector, and that's a purple second sector, but still 1/10 up on his time, so he's gonna have to do an absolute miracle here in the final sector. He's gonna have to find 3/10 somewhere, so unless he's got rocket engines on his car, I doubt he's going to make that one. And it seems we have a bit of a problem in the first sector, as Sky Kartoffel has spun, crashed, or otherwise got an issue there. Daigoro didn't improve on his time, by the way, just a little information there. Bebex retired, obviously. Sky Kartoffel's qualifying is over. Took the gamble on the medium tires, didn't work out, and therefore he'll be sitting in last position, but he will have free tire choice. Several other people crossing the line, as Gilmov has actually managed to get himself a flying lap in. So can he improve? He doesn't really have to, but can he improve still? He was 3/100ths faster there in the first sector. Bebex currently sitting on the front row, so he'll be happy with that, but I do believe that VAM is on a hot lap as well still, so he is not completely safe yet, as the VAM is exactly 1/10 behind Bebex at the moment. No, he's moved out of the way. That's not going to be a hot lap anymore for him. That is his qualifying over. Is anyone else on a hot lap? Let's have a little look-see here. I don't think anyone is on a hot lap still. Taisu, maybe. Yes, Taisu's on a hot lap. Improves to P4, 25.409. Just 6/1000ths of a second. 6 milliseconds behind his teammates. So that is the second row, all for Alpine. Well done to them. Gilmov then didn't improve his time, but he did have the purple final sector. It doesn't matter. He was 1 millisecond slower than his previous lap. Wow. Some impressive stuff going on here. Very impressive. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, the pole sitter of today's race in Bahrain, Gilmov. Followed by Bebex in P2, VAM in P3, and Taisu from the top of my head in P4. That will be your first two rows of the grid for the race. And here, of course, is the rest of the grid. The GAFA came in at P5. Daigoro in P6, Strusiek in P7, iBlue P8, Vega in 9th, Johan 10th, Matrix P11, Potato P12, Revitalize P13, and the other Potato in P14. As Kartoffel is German for potato, it wasn't meant as a joke or something. So then, I'm curious about you guys. What do you think, or actually, who do you think will be the winner of this race? Will it be the pole sitter? Will it be somebody else? Because, you know, this game tends to have a lot of crashes, of course. You never know how it will go in this here league. So let me know in the comments, in the chat, your prediction for the race winner. Who knows, it might be anybody. Currently waiting for everybody to ready up. Appears we have a bit of a delay there, but yeah, it's actually fine. It has loaded successfully. And here we are. So some interesting facts. The last few races I've seen or raced myself, in terms of 50% races or longer, all of them had at least one safety car. So for me, that's a 100% safety car rate on this track in this game. So that might influence the strategies quite a lot. And I'm, of course, now thinking who of these drivers will actually take into account the fact that the safety car is incredibly likely to come out here, as we are now counting down to the formation lap. Let's hope no weird glitches have happened while forming the grid. It sometimes happens that if you end up in pole position, you'll be put back right to the back of the grid. Let's hope that will not have happened here today, as we are waiting for everybody to be ready. The formation lap then is underway. Guillemot is off the line while Bebex, VAM, Taisu following right behind. The whole grid appears to have gone off the line pretty nicely. 14 drivers for this first race, which is, well, quite far off from a full grid. 6 of them couldn't make it today, unfortunately. The game predicts this pit stop strategy for the soft tire users. 2 stops. But of course, we often defy the game strategies and go with whatever we think is faster. We know that a potential one-stopper is maybe possible. Car number 68 at the front of the grid. Can't help but notice that BBX got quite the noticeable helmet. It's a bright red there in a blue car. Always interesting to see what types of helmets players do have. But let's move on to the sub-top 10 here. I believe everyone here is starting on the medium tires. Yes, they do. Which is the obvious choice, of course, especially if you want to do a one-stop strategy. You would want to start on the medium tires there. This is the pit stop strategy if you're using mediums. Yes, from medium to the hard tire. Somewhere between lap 13 and 15. But then again, some people are actually tire magicians and they can extend that stint. Hello there, Aston Martin. For quite longer than the game has predicted. Either of the potatoes will take the win. Alright, that's interesting. So, it might either be the Red Bull potato or the Alpha potato. Hopefully no other teleporting cars will appear during the race, as we appear to have been one man down. iBlue, very far behind on the grid. I've missed what happened to him there. But we're waiting for him to drive through every single car on the grid here, lining up on P8, and then the race can get going. There he is, all lined up on the start. So let's quickly switch to the front. And there we go, 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are actually on our way in the first race of the Tier 2 season. It looks like a great start for the race leader here. As already the AM is side by side with BBix and ahead of BBix as he now takes P2. And the Gaffer surprisingly taking P3 there. BBix falling down the order quite rapidly already in P5 as Taisu's getting past him as well now. So a lot of people, he's being swamped by 3 cars in a matter of 3 corners. So not a great start there for BBix as he's now able to fight back past Taisu side by side into this difficult corner here. Can they actually do that safely without crashing into one another? They can. Well done to both. As Tricio, that's incredibly close. A bit of a dive bomb there into the sharp corner. And fighting still for P4. I don't think that's what he wanted with starting on the front row. That's what nobody wants. A bit of sparks there going off the cars, but it seems no crashes so far. So well done. Great start from everybody. Sky Cartel has made up 2 places from the start now in P12. As the leader is half a second clear of the guy, the AM in P2. The Gaffa following in P3 over there. Now let's see if they can settle in their position. BBix appears to be struggling a little bit there, as Trusiek has no problem keeping up in his McLaren. And Daigoro lost a place since the start, now in P7, overtaken by the McLaren Trusiek in P6. But he's, of course, trying to fight back for that position. Edging ever closer, but everyone's here is in the slipstream, so that's going to be a tough job, a tough nut to crack there to overtake. Let's see here, who else got a pretty bad start? It seems iBlue also lost 3 places, so that seems to be a bit of a thing for AlphaTauri. Losing 3 places at the start will hopefully be better later on. iBlue currently from P8 to P11 outside of the points at the moment, as the front of the race is currently... Oh dear, we're having a bit of a problem here with the grid at the moment. That's just lovely. Gotta love these game glitches. I have to try and switch to the race leader. There he is. The AM is hounding him for P1 at the moment. There he is. Still got plenty of ERS left, of course. He might just save that a little bit there. Just enough for the DRS to come up very soon. And then he can place his attack. Patience, of course, is key in this game and this race. Overtaking opportunities will come eventually, as there's quite a few interesting things going on here. Look at Vega going wild on everybody here. Overtaken 2 Ferraris in the matter of several corners here. Look at this guy going. He's really going for it. As Johan now going for the attack on Strusiak, but that's put him in a pretty difficult position there as Vega's trying to go around the outside. Several people already going to the pit lane there. B-Bix is going in. Now that is interesting. 3 people in the pit lane, including both Alpha Tauri, so that's a bit of a miscommunication there, as iBlue will now be pretty screwed, as he's gonna have to wait. The front wing of B-Bix is replaced, so that is why he was a bit slower there. So that is his race already going downhill. Not what he wanted at all. Or at least I'm quite sure that's not what he wanted at all. Back to the front of the grid. Let's see here. I cannot see, unfortunately, how far everybody is behind one another, as the standings are once again messed up. But DAM has gone past Gilmov now into the lead. Gilmov has lost his first position there, but he can still give chase to the Alpine, as the 3 of them have already created quite the gap. Look at this gap between P1, 2 and 3, and then to P4 there's quite a large gap, and then there's another quite big gap to P5 and below, then P12, 13, and a lonely P14 in iBlue. But this is of course the fight we want to see, the fight for the lead, and I'm hoping that the intervals will actually come back when they cross the finish line. Thankfully they do, as the AM now sets the fastest lap of the race, a 28er there, and whoa, Gilmov going incredibly wide there. He had to move out of the way, otherwise he might have taken out the AM over there. But good lord, this fight is serious for him. It appears though he is no... Ooh, that's a sliding. He's doing some interesting drifting over there, going off the track a little bit. He's pushing too hard, and therefore he's losing more time than he probably wants. And now the Gaffa is right on his tail, trying to take P2 from him. So Gilmov in troubles right now. More people have already pitted. Daigoro has already gone into the pit lane, now down to P13, so a lot of early stoppers there. Probably to take advantage of the fresh medium tires, as they are now incredibly likely to do a 2-stop, unless they can make their medium tire last for another 25 laps, with which I would be very impressed. The Gaffa then, now giving chase to Gilmov as he's trying to close the gap he created himself to the race leader. So what will he do? Will he pit early? Will he try the undercut? Or will he not be comfortable doing that, as he might be stuck in a train sooner or later? No, he's not going into the pit lane. Neither is the Gaffa, neither is the AM. They're all still going out, still moving. They might just try and do the 1-stop, as now Johan is coming into the pit for his first pit stop, so most likely going to the medium tire. Let's have a little look here. Yes, he does. To the medium tire he goes. So another 2-stopper then for him. As meanwhile on the field here a fight is going on between Vega and Matrix, fighting for P5, and the first penalty is in. Gilmov, while pushing hard still, has now got a 3-second time penalty. So a fight going on here between Matrix and Vega, as Skykartoffel, as predicted by Persigili, is already in P7 and the other potato is in P8. I'm sorry, I'm going to make the pun a lot during this season, so be prepared. Both these cars started on the medium tires and now they're fighting each other for real. Skykartoffel already made up 7 places, of course, helped by the fact that quite a few people have already made their first pit stop, everybody from P10 downwards, and we seem to have Gilmov, who spun, in which case now also Vega has spun out. Oh no! That might have been a small chain reaction there. He'll not be too pleased with that. And Gilmove, will he come in this time then? No, he still isn't coming in, as I now have lost the game sound. There we go. Accidentally turned the switch on my headset there. He's falling down the order rapidly now, and that makes the Gaffa go into P2 and Taisu in P3, as we have another spin there. Struisek also most likely spun on the curbs of death. I might have jinxed that for everybody in this lobby, for which I apologize, I guess. Vega obviously going into the pit for a fresh set of tires, as spinning out already. Those tires were pretty old and now they were pretty much destroyed, more than likely. Going onto the medium tires, just like pretty much anyone else who stopped early today. So that's another two-stopper coming in, as Struisek just barely makes it past him there on the pit exit. Ooh, and he's nearly spinning out again. Good lord, and Vega is taking evasive action, going past him quite easily. Struisek is probably letting him have that place, because he kind of had a big moment there. And he's having another big moment there, good lord. It's like he's accidentally put ice cream on his tires there. They've given him the wrong set of tires. They've given him the ice colds instead of the mediums. The front of the field is starting to split away from one another, as VAM is building a gap of over 3 seconds now to Gaffa in P2. Taisu in P3, 2 seconds behind P2, and then Gilmove in P4, while once he was in P1. How will he feel, I wonder? Let's see here. I believe there's an interesting fight here going on between Johan and Revitalize there for the fight of P8. And Johan is gotten past Revitalize. And maybe Revitalize will have a chance to fight back here. Seems he got that exit just a little bit better. Got the DRS. And using it, of course, with his 6/10s behind, which means he will not be able to place a proper attack. As Struisek is fighting to keep ahead of Vega, who is, in his turn, fighting to get ahead of Struisiek. Very close behind one another. Very close fighting there. There's no points to be gained by getting up a place here, but still, every single place up is one place better. Taking different lines there on the way to the sharp, almost hairpin corner, downhill. Very easy to lock up in that corner, pretty terrifying. And there he goes. Having a look there, not close enough, as Taisu is now in the pit lane for his first stop. What will he do? Also to the medium tires there. Interesting, the pit crew put his medium tires over his suddenly appeared medium tires. So that's potentially an undercut for the lead of the race, which is his teammate. Johan then. Will he be able to pass Taisu? No, it's not close enough. It isn't close enough, but he might get DRS there, as his tires are already a bit more heated up there. He's now going for the attack immediately. Not close enough, unfortunately, for him to place a proper attack. Oh, he's having a look! He's having a look! Oh, that was not a great idea there, to be honest, from Johan. It was a bit too tight, a bit too far away. And Taisu really didn't see that one coming. Thankfully, no damage to either car and no spins happened there. But that was a bit of a sweaty hands moment. And now he's fallen behind a bit. Still within DRS range, of course. You can still try and open the attack, but no, he's no longer in DRS range, actually. He's outside of it, as his ERS has already ran out. And speaking of ERS, Taisu still got more than half his battery left. So it looks like Johan is going to have to cease his attack for a while. Now then, in pit lane, the race leader and the Gaffa in P2. Going there for his stop, as VAM has made his stop, is coming out in P5. Of course, Matrix, Skykartoffel and Potato have not yet stopped, I believe, from the top of my head. Speaking of which, let's have a little look if that is true what I'm saying. Yes, it is true. So then, Guillemot still going on these old set of soft tires. He might potentially go for a one-stop then. Interesting. Very interesting. His tires are growing pretty old now, as the Aston Martin behind of Matrix is gaining on him ever so slightly. And there is the first person on the hard tires actually. The Gaffa's gone for the hard tires. Interesting, very interesting. Might this mean he would try and attempt a one-stop? 20 laps on a hard tire, will that be possible? We'll have to find out. Taisu for now will have the advantage in tires for now though, so he can close up that gap, and he is trying to do so, and I believe he is succeeding in doing that. Both got plenty of ERS left, so no problems there. As Guillemot really has to come in now, he still hasn't, as Matrix has made up 1.5 seconds in just over half a lap. So, yeah. It seems more than likely that Guillemot is going for the one-stop strategy here. In which case he'll have to take care of his tires extra hard, which he might be doing already actually. As he's taking it slow, saving his tires, Matrix is slowly edging in, trying to go for that temporary lead of the race. Skykartoffel 3.5 seconds behind him in P3 at the moment, with a 9-lap old medium tires, followed by Potato on another 2 seconds as the theoretical race leader here in P5. He's currently gaining on the race leader itself a lot as well. Let's see how far he is behind. Interval to the leader. Yes, this was what I wanted to see. A bit messy there. Just less than 10 seconds already behind the race leader, so that would put Guillemot very far behind soon. Impressively though, he is taking those soft tires quite far. Now let's see, will he go for the pit stop? Still not! Interesting! He is stretching it immensely wide there. This is his first stint. As the Matrix is now trying to close that gap, he's not yet been able to do so, as VAM now sets the fastest lap of the race, 28.813. So let's see here, what will Matrix do? Will he wait, knowing that he will pit soon and lose a lot of time? Or will he attack a bit more aggressively? Vega getting a 3-second time penalty in the meanwhile, as we have an interesting fight here going on for P6 with the Gaffa and Taisu. Taisu has just overtaken the Gaffa. Of course, the Gaffa being on the harder tire will be able to last longer, and Taisu more than likely will have to stop another one. To go to another set of medium tires, as he now sets the purple first sector faster than his teammate, who is about 6 seconds ahead of him. .6 to be precise. And he is slowly gaining. As VAM has now caught up to the group that has yet to stop. And the first of that group is the Potato 06. He's quickly gaining, as Guillemot is still ahead of Matrix in P1 for now. He's gonna have to make a mighty second stint in order to regain any lost positions there, and he is finally going in. 10 laps old soft tires, make that 11 laps old. In he comes, as Potato is now under threat and overtaken by Taisu going into P3. And at the same time, Taisu sets the fastest lap, 28.752. Johan also in for a pit stop here. On his set of mediums, going in for another set. No, that's actually the set of hard tires going on there, and a neo front wing. So trouble there for the Tier 3 champion of last season, as he's now moving down to last place. Not what he wants on his Tier 2 debut. Guillemot just barely ahead of his teammate, Revitalize in P8 at the moment, now chasing down. He's on a medium tire strategy, which means he might actually try and make this one last until the end of the race. What can he do? He is, let's have a little look there, 22.3 seconds behind the race leader. Can he do something about it as we have a spin? Bega spun again the second time this race. Not going particularly well for him there. It is very interesting indeed, basically. And I'm wondering if he's going to try and make this set last, as I said, until the end of the race. He'll be pretty fast now. But he's going to have to be careful if he wants to stretch this stint until the end. Already he's behind Bibix, who is now in P7. But for how long? That's the question. There is Guillemot coming up. Not yet close enough, so that will mean he'll try to be as close as he can for this set of corners, then getting another DRS, opening up, as he's got 9 laps fresher tires than Bibix. Of course, that's going to be an easy pass there into P7 for Guillemot, and now the chase is on. He's already made up 0.8 to a second to the race leader there, so he's going pretty quick. He's got about 10 seconds to go until he reaches the Gaffa, who is currently still fighting Taisu, no longer within DRS range though. So no more chances for him to properly attack there. He'll have to close the gap first. The AM has now caught up to Sky Kartoffel, who is still good to pit. Let's see how much of a fight Sky Kartoffel will put up. The AM will want to get rid of him as soon as he can. Can he do so? How tough is this this Kartoffel, this potato? Well, not very tough, obviously, as he's now pitting and going in for a new set of tires. Which set? That's the question. I say he's going in for a set of hard tires. Is he? Yes, he is. Taisu then, coming up to Potato. And we have another spin. It's Bega again, who's now properly in last place. Vega. I know somebody who's called Bega, which is written the exact same way, so that's why I pronounce it the Spanish way. I'm not entirely sure if I'm supposed to say it the Spanish way. I prefer it that way, actually, as I've got used to it. Anyway, Daigoro having a fight with Sky Kartoffel, who's just come out of the pit lane, and now in P10 on the hard tire. He will make this set last until the end of the race. But he's going to have to fight for it, fight for all of those points, starting in last place, already in P10, so he's doing quite well. But if he's going to win, I doubt it. Thank you, Joey, for your compliment there, by the way. Compliment/feedback. I do appreciate that. Always trying to improve commentary, etc. So if there's any things I can improve on, while Taisu is now having a lot of looks as the rear wheels of Potato there, trying to get past. Having a look, is anybody ahead? No, that's great. Which means I will have DRS and he will not. Coming around the final corner onto the main straight. And Taisu should have no problems overtaking Potato for P3. There he goes. No problem at all. Will Potato defend? No. Which is probably for the best. Let's hope he doesn't outbrake himself. And he doesn't. Very good. And now the Gaffa is next up to try and overtake him. Something has happened to Revitalize. Yo dear. You spun. Another spin. Quite a lot of people spinning, but so far no crashes or DNFs. Every single driver is still going, which is impressive. Strong group indeed. Looks like the F1 coordinators in the chat were right. A very strong group. 14-lap old medium tires there in the lead of the race, under the car of Matrix. Indeed he did. Gilmov took a pretty big dive from pole position. He lost it a few times, spun once, and now he's in P6, although there are still 2 people ahead of him who have yet to pit, by which he will be back into his position before he pitted, which was P4. The Gaffer now, up to Potato. So, will Potato pit this time round? Because the Gaffer is going for the overtake. So that might mean Potato will not be able to pit, and he is not going to pit, as now the Gaffer is going to have another easy pass there, up into P4, past Potato. Daigoro now having 10 lap old medium tires. He might go for a second stop very soon. Skykartoffel is edging ever closer, or maybe further away from him, as Strusiak is now in for his second stop of the race. Okay, another set of medium tires, and that will be the set on which he will finish this race. Revitalize after a spin, now being chased down by iBlue, who we haven't seen a lot in this race. Pretty in the shadows there, as we actually have our first DNF. I jinxed it again. B-Bix is out of this race. The first person to crash. Let's see if we can have a little look about what happened. Hopefully the camera zooms out far enough. I think, no, he's outside of our view, but he's crashed definitely there. So that's his race over, and there's no safety car coming out for that. As it appears, Potato is going pretty slow. Why is he going so slow? He let past Gilmo. Is he having a puncture then? No, it doesn't seem like it. No, that's... yeah, it's actually a puncture. A puncture, front left puncture. Yep, that's definitely a puncture. He stretched that stint for way too long. And now Matrix... oh dear, he doesn't know what happened there in the back. Oh no. Now he might be in trouble very soon as well, as Potato has to pit. He has to pit because of those that flat tire there. You said, are Matrix and Potato going for medium soft? Definitely not. I wouldn't recommend that at this moment of the race, as Matrix might be the next one to get a puncture there. They might wait for a safety car, but Potato waited too long. And now he's in serious trouble, all the way down, back to P10, game over, start again please. The AM, in the meanwhile, has already retaken the lead and is actually having quite the easy race. After overtaking Gilmov, he didn't really have any problems whatsoever. So that's B-Bix out. After 16 laps, he's done. The first DNF of this race, which I may or may not have jinxed. Matrix still going. Perseguili, if he doesn't get a puncture, you might be right, as the AM now goes fastest with a 28.6. Matrix having a mighty stint here. I wonder how bad his tires are. Unfortunately, we cannot see that. I wish the game would show the tire condition right now. It sometimes does that, but not always, which is unfortunate. Otherwise, he's having a very, very good race. Starting in P11, currently driving in P2. If he pits now, he will fall back more or less to P5 or P6. Actually, that might be P5. Yeah, he'll fall back to P5. So from P11 to P5 potentially there. If he doesn't get a puncture, of course. Let's see. How are his tires doing? His tires are looking incredibly degraded there. But he's still going, nearly smashing the 3 distance signs there. Racing on the edge. Ooh, he's getting very slippery there. It's a miracle that this guy hasn't got a puncture yet. The lights on this front right tire make it look like he's got a puncture all the time, but that's just a few lightning glitches there. Oh, a little bit of a luck up there. Oh, he's gonna have to pit real soon now, and he is going to pit. So what tire will he go to? Let's see, Perseguili, whether or not you'll be right. This is interesting. Which means Taisu now moves into second place, and then we have an Alpine 1-2. And yes, you are right. You are completely right. Matrix then going for a new set of soft tires. And he will be the fastest car on the track by far, as Revitalize now is having a bit of problem there. Is he the second guy with a puncture with his 17-lap old tires? Is he having a puncture or not? Or was he just spinning? Can't say for sure. I don't think he's got a puncture, no. But his laps are about as old as Matrix's. And especially the other guy, I completely forgot his name now, who had the puncture there. That might be a puncture on the front right. Yes. Looks like a puncture to me. 2 punctures then this race. Is it a puncture? It's so hard to see. All the lightning glitches are really annoying. Might have been a front right puncture there as well. Anyway, I'm getting too distracted by all the punctures today. Potato was the guy who had a puncture. There we go. Now I remember. Thank you, brain. Potato then, on his fresh set of tires, keeping up with Strusiek. Fighting there for P8. So we've seen those tires now. Let's see how everybody's doing in terms of position change. Skykartoffel in P6 at the moment. But more interestingly, we have a potential fight going on around here. This part of the field is actually close together. The rest is incredibly spread out. Otherwise, an incredibly clean race so far. A few dive bombs here and there, 2 punctures, a few spins. As Potato is falling behind again. Now Daigoro is coming up to him, fighting for P9. Potato will no longer have DRS, so Daigoro on his fresh set of soft tires will have an incredibly easy time, most likely, to get past him. And there he comes. Will he be able to make the move? Yes, he's already side by side, and there he goes into turn 1. Now into P9, and he's gonna have to drive for his life. He wants to take some more points then. About 1 second to go to P8, but Potato is definitely not giving up yet. Already side by side again. Will Daigoro be able to brake just a bit later and have a bit more grip? He does not. No, actually he does barely. Potato is putting up a surprisingly good fight here on the set of tire that is 2 compounds harder than the softs. Oh, nearly broke himself there. Well done to Potato for the defending over there, but Daigoro is now ahead. Lost some time to Strusiek in P8. He's gonna have to make up that time again. Potato will no longer be able to attack properly here, although 6/10, no, that's not going to be enough. He's moving out of the slipstream. He does know that he will not be able to do it. Although he can have a benefit here from that slipstream, as he's now being pulled towards Strusiek again. As Daigoro is now within a second, and Potato is also within a second, so he might just get the DRS. He's trying to get that DRS here, using his ERS, of which he's got quite a lot, and he does have his ability to open the front wing on this main straight there. So that's very interesting. There he goes, Daigoro then attacking Strusiek for P8. Will he be able to get there in time? It's going to be close, it's going to be tight in the braking zone, side by side into turn 1, and he does the job. Well done. Well done. And by that he will still have the DRS into this straight. Strusiek will not have that DRS, as Potato is now trying to close the gap as well. But he is too far behind for now to attack P9 properly. So we'll keep focused on this side of the field for a bit, as this is the only proper fight going on for a position. It looks like, though, Vega and Revitalize will have a battles on their hands soon as well, but that is for P12 and P13. This is for the points, so this is where we'll be focusing on. Still keeping up, still within a second, as is Strusiek, surprisingly. still within a second of Daigoro, which might mean that the soft tires of Daigoro have had their best time already. And we all know that soft tires do not last very long on any track. So this fight is far from over, as I'd like to say very often. Some interesting strategies here. A one-stop with a medium to soft has not worked out for everybody, turns out. In fact, it has worked out terribly well. And terribly not well for Potato, sorry. As he was forced to go from mediums to hard tires. Oh, as his front right medium tire there had a puncture a few laps ago. But he's still going, which we cannot say about Bibix, who's out of this race. Vitali is going in for another pit stop. He's not having a good day. Nor is Vega. Really want to know how to pronounce the name now. I'm hoping it's Vega. Just for the sake of my own consistency. Revitalize in the pit, and he has decided to retire from the race. Which means we only have 12 people left and 6 laps to go. After this one. So Ken Potato finally overtakes Trusiak here. He's not close enough, still 6/10 behind. Because Trusiak still's got DRS himself as well. Chasing down Daigoro for P8. There's his teammate Johan just ahead in P7. And his tires are quite a lot older, so what will he do? Will he allow Daigoro to get past for the sake of ensuring the team will get maximum points available, or will he fight for his position? We'll know in a couple of laps time, as Daigoro is approaching him quite rapidly there. Already nearly within a second now. And he's still got that orange McLaren behind him, swarming around him like a little orange bug insect. And a literal Red Bull behind him. Daigoro's soft tire is only 3 laps old, so they cannot be degrading. They cannot have degraded that much yet. Maybe he's taking it easy. That's another possibility. As I thought for a second there that Johan surprisingly would have gone for a pit stop. That would have been weird. He is defending though from his teammate. The tier 3 champion defending his position from Daigoro. Daigoro is now in serious trouble. He must have made a mistake there somewhere, as Trusiak is now very close behind. He'll now be able to place an attack. He's trying to go around the outside, but oh, Daigoro is defending pretty hard there. Well done. Still ahead for the time being. Potato will like that a lot actually, because he's able to keep up easily now. And Daigoro wants to catch up to his teammate, and his teammate is not going to back down to give him DRS there, that's for sure. Oh, he nearly lost it there, Trusiak, and that's a problem there for him, as Potato is now very close behind, but not close enough for another proper attack. Trusiak, though, is barely managing to hang on within that DRS range of 1 second. And Daigoro has noticed that mistake. He is now going for the attack. Johan has left the session. Oh dear, might be in trouble there. That means now Johan is now being driven by an AI. And Daigoro will have a free position. It will take a while, most likely, for Johan to return. Oh, that's so unfortunate. There he goes, behind his teammate. His ghosting teammate side by side. And into P7 Daigoro goes. Which means Trusiak will now go into P8 and Potato most likely into P9. Let's see if Johan can return. There goes Trusiak. not yet. Looks like the AI level has been cranked up a bit in this lobby. As AI Johan is not giving up that easily. They're now within each other, and Strusiak's finally passed. Now Potato is passed, and Johan down to P10. He'll have some time now to return. He's still got a point, as iBlue is more than 10 seconds behind at the moment. Daigoro then, now at the head of this small group in the middle of the field. Fighting to get as much points as possible. His next target is 10 seconds away. He'll not be able to catch him anymore in time. He's catching him, but it will not be fast enough. Meanwhile, we have another fight on our hands very soon, as Guillermo is now under attack from a storming Matrix on his soft tires. Although those are already 6 laps old, so definitely the best from those tires is already gone. Will he be able to attack Guillermo? He doesn't really have to, as Guillermo does have that 3-second penalty. So he can just cruise behind and save his tires, or he can go all out and prove himself an attacker and being able to overtake. You know, drivers are very proud people, even in games. Or correction, racing drivers are very proud people. Not saying every driver on the road is very proud. Some of them, you may wonder, how did they get their driver's license? Anyway, that's a discussion for another time. Now then, onto the main straight. Ooh, nearly 1 second behind. That will not be enough to attack properly. You can only get closer here. And even that is going not as fast as he would have liked. He might still be able to take P4 there, interestingly. So his strategy has worked out brilliantly for him. And he's been very lucky. As we've seen, it could have gone horribly wrong with punctures and the like. But he didn't get one. And as such, he's going strong in P5. Potato here having a serious look on Strusiak. And Daigoro is pretty much out of ERS. And there comes Strusiak back at Daigoro into P7. And Potato also having a look there. Ooh! The soft tire strategy might have been a bit too bold for the likes there. And now he's in trouble. His tires are now 7 laps old. No longer fast anymore. And Potato will now have the tire advantage. As you can see, he's keeping up easily. He's having a little look there. That's not enough yet, of course. I felt like it was more because of a small mistake there that he had to go around at the inside. But now he'll be able to properly attack. I love how the game switches to the rear tire. Well, I'm not interested in that. Very little ERS for Daigoro to play with. Plenty of ERS to play with for Potato. Here, he might be able to take P8 still. Having a look at the map, and I see Matrix is still not past Guillermo. There he goes then, into attack mode. No more ERS for Daigoro. He's slowly approaching him. There he goes side by side. The inside of the corner, he misses it a little bit there. Nearly goes into Strusiak. And now Daigoro, he's having a little moment there. And Daigoro's getting back past. Daigoro's gone back past because Potato there nearly lost his Red Bull. Whew. Some excitement here in the final 2 laps of the race. For this group at least. And Strusiak will be very happy to see that this is now able to pull away from Daigoro for real. Oh, interesting. Daigoro is led past Potato there, which means he might have accidentally touched Potato in the first, second and third corner somewhere, which is why he nearly lost his car. So if that's the case, that's very sportsmanlike. Well done to him. Meanwhile, Vega is about to be lapped by the race leader, who is now on his final lap. This man overtook Gül and never looked back. Had to overtake a few cars which had all the tires, but that was no problem at all. And here he is. A very, very strong race. 12 seconds ahead of his teammate, who is getting in trouble here a little bit, as the Gaffa has already closed the gap to him, but will he be able to place that attack? Bega now lapped. VAM is now 1 lap ahead of Bega. He will have to drive 1 lap less. Can the Gaffa place an attack here? It's 2 tenths. It's 2 tenths. He's having a look. He's very close behind. He's trying to force him into a mistake. He's nearly pushing that car into the next corner. Can he still take P2? Can he still do it? Oh, he's having a little look there. He's incredibly close. As we have the race winner here, ladies and gentlemen, VAM wins the Bahrain Grand Prix in Tier 2. Well done to him. And will the Gaffa come in time to take P2? No, he will not. He will have to take P3 unless something goes terribly wrong here. Is he able to do it? Is he able to do it? No, just barely. It was incredibly close. 67 milliseconds there separated him from P2. Taisu taking that second place. The Gaffa P3. Matrix has gone ahead of Gülmov, obviously, because of that penalty. Well done to him. P4, Gülmov P5. Skykatov will soon cross the line in P6. But ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the race winner, VAM. A very, very strong race. No penalties, no mistakes whatsoever. Super strong. Well done to him and to his team as they take a 1-2 finish. We're waiting for the final people to pass as iBlue somehow manages to pass Johan. Of course, yes. He's still not in the game. And there he is. That's all. This race made possible by 14 incredible drivers and of course our sponsors Driver61 and SimSoc. We might have an interview or two very soon. So stay tuned in case we have those. Here they are on the podium. Alpine 1-2 and a Haas in P3. Imagine if you saw that in real life. You'd be shocked for life. Let the champagne spray. They are very happy. Both the Polish drivers here for the French team. Well done and GG. So then, let's have a look at the standings of this race. As soon as we can, of course. There we are. VAM as winner, Taisu P2, Gaffa P3, Matrix P4. Well done to him. Driver of the day, in my opinion. Or, well, he could be contending for that with Skykartoffel. Gimov, disappointingly, P5. Potato, P7 then. Strusiak, P8. Daigoro, P9. And iBloom rounding off that top 10. With the fastest lap as well in 10th place. So then. Now you're wondering, will there be interviews? Well, let's have a little look at the Waiting for Interview channel. It appears a few people from Tier 1 are waiting, but not for me, of course. So I'm gonna have, if you wish an interview, please join the Waiting for Interview channel number 2. So then, I hope you enjoyed the race. I definitely did. I'm very, very honored to have commentated for such a big racing league. It turns out, yes, soft medium was the winning strategy indeed. Looks like our man of the match, Matrix, is waiting for an interview. So let's have a little chat to him. Hopefully he can hear me and you guys can hear him as well. Hello, Matrix. Welcome to the commentary box. So then, how do you feel? If you can...
Good.
Ah, there you are.
Hello.
Hi. So, from P11 to P4, from an interesting strategy actually, medium to soft. So, how was that?
Well, not planned at all.
Really?
Because I did some runs this afternoon. Realized that a soft medium is not possible, at least for me. and soft hard is a stretch, and so is medium soft. But I realized that I can do a medium soft, and so I told myself, okay, when I get free tire choice, I'll do that. Otherwise, I would have gone soft hard like anybody else. Then I just screwed up my qualifying twice, and well, ended up P11. I was like, sure, I'll take it, and I got lucky, I guess.
Yeah, very lucky, exceptionally lucky, because I'm not sure if you've heard what happened to Potato, who was potentially on the same strategy. He actually had a puncture just 2 laps before you pitted. Yes, so you were super lucky.
Now I want to know how many percent he had though, because I was still on, I don't know, 60 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm wondering as well. Unfortunately, I'm not able to see it, but I was really curious about that too.
I'll ask him, because in the last game was 75 was the magical number, I believe.
I believe so as well, yeah.
Yeah, so I felt rather safe on my 60%. I was like, sure, I'll take it.
Yeah, so yeah, good job to you, P4 there in the end. I personally named you driver of the day because of that strategy, so good job to you.
Thank you.
And here's to many more points in the future, of course.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe with a better qualifying next time.
I hope so too, man.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right, have a good evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Our race winner is waiting in the waiting for interview channel as well. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the AM race winner of the first Tier 2 race here. VAM, you had a pretty good start. You overtook the race leader and pretty much never looked back. So how was that for you?
Yeah, it was very good. I mean, I actually went. That was actually more than I expected, to be honest. I had a very good lap in qualifying. I didn't expect to be P3. But then, yeah, I made a very good start. I managed to pass for P2. And then I realized that I was actually quite a bit quicker than the leader at the time. And I stayed behind for a bit, but then I had an opportunity on the straight because I think I had lower wings a bit, so I was quite a bit quicker on the straight, so I managed to pass the leader even without the DRS.
Yeah, we saw that. You were pretty much almost pushing Guillemot into the first corner there at some point because you were so close behind. You won with about a 14-second gap to P2, your teammate, so that means Alpine's got a lot of points. Besides that, do you consider yourself a title contender then this season?
Well, I mean, I haven't expected the result. I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect that. I was expecting to be somewhere up in upper midfield, let's say. But the pace was very, very good. And when I qualified P3, actually I thought, okay, I'm going to have a very good chance of winning the race, because actually what was funny, it's qualifying pace is something I struggle with.
You hear that quite often, yeah.
I'm usually pretty bad in qualifying, and I'm very good in the race pace, in the race situation. So when I qualified P3, I thought, okay, I have a pretty good chance then. And yeah, and if I consider myself a title contender, maybe. But you know, that was my actually first league race on this game. So
really?
yes, so
for
I don't know.
As in a first league race in general, or just...
No. First league race on F1 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's just the track that suits me, or I just had a very good setup, or the combination of both, or if I actually made progress this game, which would have been quite nice. So I don't know if I'm a title contender, but...
Well, we've got 16 more races to figure that out, so we'll see. And I'm definitely going to keep an eye on you and see how you do for the rest of the season. So once again, congratulations to you, and yeah, see you in the next race.
Thank you.
All right, so that's it for the interviews today. I don't see anyone else waiting here for the interview, so that'll be it from me today as well. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely did enjoy it a lot. It was a great race, a great winner. great strategies, a bit of bad luck there. It's a shame I am not able to speak to Potato here. I also would have loved to have spoken to BBix, but well, you can't have everything, I guess. So please let me know how you feel like, did you feel about the stream? Was it any good? I hope it was. Other than that, have a great evening, afternoon, morning, night, wherever you are. Have a great time, and we'll see you next week for, if I recall correctly, Spain. Have a great night. See you next time.